Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of quadratic functions, specifically how we can find the zeros with just using the equation and not necessarily graphing them out. We'll do it in 5 minutes or less. So we see we have a quadratic function here in our standard form. We can say that our a equals just the 1 because there's nothing in front of the x. B equals 2, and C equals -8. If we can get that standard form in a factored form, that's actually very helpful. It's this a and then x minus u times x minus v, these factors, because the u and the v are actually both zeros in this form. So we can find the zeros or the solutions or the x-intercepts, whatever you want to call them, if we can get it into that form. So how do we get it from our standard form into the factored form? Well, there are many different ways. I prefer the diamond method, so I'm going to share that with you. So what we do is we draw an x. In the top part, we multiply a and c. Well, a is 1, c is -8. So that's really easy, -8. Then, in the bottom part, we simply put b, 2. So what we're doing is we're trying to find a pair of factors that multiply to -8. So it could be like 1 and 8, or 2 and 4, and then also add to 2. So since it's going to be negative, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, actually, let's do a +4 and a -2, and that's going to be 4 times -2 is -8, but 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. So there we go. That's what I need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the original quadratic function, and instead of that +2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with +4x minus 2x. So this replaces that plus 2x, and then I've got the 4x minus 2x, still the same thing. But now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to factor these right here. So let's see what happens if I can find a common factor. So if I were to factor something out of the x squared plus 4x, I can factor an x out of that, and that's going to be x plus 4. And then what can I get out of this? Well, you know what? That's a minus 2x. That's a -8. So I'm going to take a -2 out of there. So if I take a -2 out of there, what that's going to do here is that is going to give me an x, and if I take a -2 out of the +8, that's -8, that's actually going to leave me with a +4. So guess what I have? Common factors, and that's what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the x minus 2, since I've got the x and the -2, and then I'm going to have the x plus 4. I'm just going to factor out that x plus 4. So this now is in my factored form. So what are my zeros? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set each of these to 0, right? So I'm going to say 0 equals x minus 2, 0 equals x plus 4, and then you simply solve for x. So now my x is going to equal 2 right here. My x is going to equal -4 right here. And we also could figure that out if we looked at it in this factored form here, right? So x minus 2, well, that's my u right there. So one of my zeros is 2. And then I've got an x plus 4. Well, since the factored form is x minus v, in order to get a +4, you actually need a -4 right here. So that's where your two zeros are. So with our next example here, if we multiply a times c, you're going to get -12. And then if we just take our b, it's -11. So we can get there if we multiply -12 times 1, and we can get our -11 if we just simply add those two. So let's rewrite this as 3x squared. Take that -11x, we're going to change that into a -12x plus x, using these two right here, -4. And now we're simply trying to factor out. So we can take out a 3x. That's going to leave us with an x minus 4. And you know what? I've already got an x minus 4 right there. And so I'm just going to make that a 1 on the outside. So now I can say my factors are 3x plus 1, and then x minus 4. And my zeros are -1/3 and 4.